Welcome to my shifting series. My name is Anika, and this is a different shifting series about my omegaverse DR. Now, I scripted in that I'm gonna get some memories when I shift in and stuff, but of course it's going naturally and stuff, and there are certain plot lines, but everything is just gonna happen itself somehow. So for my first shift there, I woke up in my bed. First thing I do is ground myself a little because I look around the room and turns out I have my own bathroom, which is really nice. And my memories of my DR self came flooding in because that's good, which was very overstimulating. So I just sat like half an hour just sitting there, having a panic attack, sort of. I don't know, it was just not my day. So I washed my face, took a shower, got changed, because I knew what was supposed to happen. And then I get interrupted by my stepmother in this DR. By the way, part 0 is really important for this. Part 0 is applying to all of the shifting series I'm gonna do. And she said, "Amy, be quick. I need to drive you to your mother." I told her I was coming. I just needed to wash the rest of the conditioner off. I'm a boy in this DR, by the way. I get dressed. I take my phone from the charger and the charger itself. I got out of my room, walked down the stairs to see my stepmother in the kitchen cooking. She told me I made brownies. Eat, just eat. And she poured me a glass of Cola Zero, Cola Zero. And guess what? They had no sugar in them, the brownies. So it was basically just, I don't know how to explain it. It was fine, just not a sweet treat, you know? At least it doesn't feel like a sweet treat. It was honestly a little bit bitter, but I ate it anyway. But the Coke was cold. That's all I can say. We got in the car. It was a 45-minute drive. We stopped at a gas station and got a Cola Zero because the stepmom is a health nut. And I got a scrambled egg sandwich and an iced tea. And then we finally got to my DR mom's house. We knocked on the door and it took a while. She didn't answer for a little bit. And then my stepmom knocked on the door. It took another moment, but she finally opened the door, but only slightly. But she only opened it slightly, but I could still see her. She had dirty blonde hair. Mine was blonder, like my dad's, and my stepmom also had pretty blonde hair. It was more yellowish. I don't know, we were just blondes, I don't know why. Also, the mom was very short. She was shorter than me. She looked at me, then she looked at Gemma, the stepmom. Then she opened the door fully. And she was like, "Hello, Miss Gemma, ... in a much more weird voice." And then she was like, and then she said, "Oh, hi, baby." How to do voices? It wasn't that high pitched. Her eyes are also they were very big, and I can only like describe it as sorrowful eyes. I don't really know. I'm not really good with words when it comes to describing stuff. She was like, "Hello, baby, come in." She gestured to me to come in, and once I came in, she was just like, "Bye, Gemma," and just closed the door as quickly as possible, as she could. I said a quick goodbye to my stepmom and came in, was already in, you know. She took my hand and set me at the table. We had sandwiches and cake. She was just like, "How was your time?" And she said, "Hi, baby, how are you? How was your time with your father and his wife?" With that silence between like ... And I said, "It's fine. I've been fine. Dad's been fine. It's been fine." And she was like, "Yeah, baby, I heard you're gonna have a little brother or half brother." And I was like, "Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't, but you know. So now we're gonna have a baby on our hands. Woo!" And I'm supposed to be at my dad's most of the week, so yeah. In this DR, I only have weekends with my mom, and they're not my real parents, but you know. And then she was like, okay, darling, I need to go. My patient is waiting for me, because she's a maid for a important, like, aristocrat family, and she's taking care of one of the children, mothers, I don't know even, and she's very respected and trusted in that family, so she got to work with her full time, and she like got a house with her, so she could take care of her. And yeah, and don't worry, it was allowed for me to be there. It was actually in a very quiet, nice neighborhood, which is where most of my DR friends lived. Before that, she was kind of not nice about the baby thing, and she was just like, I had to tell her to stop. She stopped, and then we like continued on with our lives, and she had to go to take care of the lady. So she gave me a boxed lunch and just sent me off outside. She basically said, go out, do something, come back before 7. I was like, okay, and I took my lunch bag and just went out. I go to close the door, and right behind me, guess who? You don't know who, because you don't know anything about this, and I barely knew anything at the time. And then my friend Ben Color, which wasn't really my friend, he was my boyfriend, at the time, Ben Color. I don't know what that name is, but we just call him Gale, and I always called him Gale. But also with him, the interaction wasn't very normal. He just grabbed me by the hand and pretty much rushed me to his house. He basically barged in with me, like right behind him, and his mom's side, or I think it was his mom, and we just went up. By the way, the names are really weird in this ER. I didn't plan it to be like that. I'm a Marine, and he's, yeah, but we just call him Gale. And he's my friend. He's my friend, my best friend. But we are gonna be more than that in the future. Nice. And when we got to his room, there were multiple blankets on the floor and like clothes, and it was pretty much his den, if you know what that means in omegaverse terms. And I have scripted in something that there is in Celestial Blogs on YouTube. She makes great content. She, I don't know. And they have things that are called cuddle rats and cuddle heats, which are non-sexual rats and heats, but there are sexual ones. So he just had me, like, we pretty much cuddled. We were, kinds of like nothing spicy, just cuddling and in a lot of positions, but nothing spicy. Just really cute, honestly. And his mom bought us food, which is really nice. And then he pretty much wanted to give me a bath, and I was just like, no. I was not ready mentally for that, especially on my first shift there, and especially with how I was feeling, because I was in a bad mood. But it was really nice, the cuddles and everything, but I was in a bad mood. And that was it for my first shift there. I'll tell the story of the second shift soon. Bye-bye.